Noodles, you're playing the role of Max Domi. Max Domi, what is your level of concern? You're losing your grip on a top 6 role with the Maple Leafs.
I'm not going to go play it, but I am going to go Rick Bushwood.
6 Busch Light, 6 Bud Light, and I love them, tall boys.
I still think he's struggling to find his identity within the team. It takes time to settle into new environment, new systems, new players, chemistry, all of that. Not every player can hit the ground running. And I go back to, and I've used this reference a lot, Ken Holland's media at the end of the season. He talked about a lot of guys struggling in their new environment. And he had one in Jack Campbell. In Calgary, it was Huberdeau and Kadri. Like, not everyone, when they change teams and come to a new environment, it's just, hey, everything clicks and everything's amazing. I think there's an added pressure because of the name as well. So I'm not the Rick Bushwood because he hasn't looked great, and he's looked kind of off kilter. He just hasn't looked like the Max Domi we've seen in Montreal. Even in Dallas, he had some jam last year, and I thought he played well in the playoffs. So, he's not there yet. Put it that way.
No, and today he was down on the third line, which is not, a massive relegation. It's not as if he was expected to be the number 1 left winger all year, 20 minutes a night. But they've moved Nyes up at practice. We'll see if that ends up happening tomorrow. Which I think is actually a smart play, too. Fraser Minten, he needs veterans around him. Put Domi with him, put Yarncroke with him, allow them to prop him up, as opposed to maybe the other way around. But I think it's 3 games. It's a big adjustment. He has not played well. Like, he looks really off. He looks like he's struggling. But he very well could be struggling with the moment as much as anything else because of what this team is and what it represents to him in particular. He's a Maple Leaf, and everyone knows the name. Everyone knows, where he grew up and the team he was rooting for, and it's tough. I'm sure
he's
it's
just thinking
difficult.
too much. What he's got to do if he gets himself in a position, it's just got to work and get pucks to guys. Instead of thinking, do I got to get it? Do I got to handle it? Do I want to get in? It's just thinking too much. He's just got to work, get the puck to Willie, and be that grinder guy in the line and start with that. And then once you just simplify and all the little things, you start with the little things, and then you get comfortable with whoever he goes with, and then things will settle in. But it's just got to start with a really simple mentality. Get in the corner, get on the forecheck. Don't overthink it. Don't overhandle it, because when you're struggling and you think you're going to finesse your way out of it, it's a big-time mistake, and it'll bite you in the ass big time. Because the coach will start hating your guts because you'll turn it over and toe drags in unnecessary places. Just really simplify your game, and then once it comes after that, then you can start feeling the puck a little bit, make plays. But right now, it's got to be simple. It's got to be start with simple and work.
Well, and he's got a lot of games left too, right? You're talking 79, and really with him, because Dallas, you mentioned last year, he played really well in the playoffs. He produced.
He
in the
was
playoffs.
awesome.
Yep.
That's really what is necessary here. That doesn't mean you throw away the regular season. You've got to have an impact on the season. You've got to play a role. If you're an everyday guy, you've got to pull your weight. But if he can get cooking, Bertuzzi get cooking, Klingberg, any of these new guys or young guys, Minten included, Nyes included, get on a roll down the stretch and make an impact in the playoffs, that's why you were brought in. That's why Max Domi's here. Is yes, to add some depth and some offensive ability, but do something come playoff time, and no one's going to remember what happened the first 3 games.
Yeah,
nobody.
And let's keep in mind, it's 3 games. A guy could have a week next week where he scores 2 goals and is impactful, and you forget. I think you got to give 10 games, maybe even more, for guys to be really comfortable in their environment. I want to give him a very long leash and just let him settle in, as long as he plays responsible.
Yes, exactly. It's still it's real stuff now. It's no longer the preseason, and I think for a guy like Domi, hitting the road is probably going to be beneficial, right? I think it's probably in his best interest. Get on the road, get some road games in, and it's all good.